Most men panic the moment a woman starts pulling away. She gets distant, colder, slower to reply. And instantly, they panic, overthink, and chase. But here's the truth. Her distance isn't always rejection. Sometimes, it's selection. A silent test to see what kind of man you really are. Will you collapse the second she shifts her energy? Or will you stay grounded, calm, focused, unshaken? Machiavelli once said, "He who becomes the source of someone else's power will be destroyed by it." In modern dating, it means this: if her distance makes you chase, if her silence controls your actions, you just gave her the power to lead. And the moment she feels that, she stops seeing you as a leader and starts seeing you as replaceable. This isn't about playing games. It's about understanding how high-value men respond to space, uncertainty, and emotional withdrawal without losing power. Because once you learn how to stay composed when she pulls away, you don't beg for connection. You become the gravity she doesn't want to lose. In this video, I'll walk you through 5 very specific moments where women create distance and how powerful men respond in each of them, without chasing, over-explaining, or folding. Stay with me until the end, because no matter where you are, single, dating, in a relationship, you will see yourself in at least one of these moments, and what you hear today might shift the way you lead forever. Let's begin. Situation 1. She pulls away after things felt amazing. You just had an incredible moment with her. Whether it was a deep weekend together, a night of real connection, or a series of intimate conversations, everything felt aligned. She seemed open, present, invested. And then suddenly, silence. Her replies slow down. The energy drops. She says she's tired, busy, not feeling like talking. Most men collapse at this point. They overthink. They start replaying the last conversation, looking for what went wrong. They text again. They ask, "Did I mess up? Is something wrong? Did I say too much?" But here's the truth. When a woman pulls away after deep intimacy, it's rarely because you did something wrong. It's because something clicked, and that scared her. Not in a bad way, in a human way. And now she needs to feel if you're still grounded when things shift. Machiavelli once said, "A wise man ought to adopt such a course that his enemies may not know how to attack him." In modern relationships, your enemy isn't her. It's your fear, your need to be reassured. Because once she feels that you fear losing her, she's no longer chasing your energy. She's managing it. Here's how this plays out in real life. You spent the night together. Great vibe. Real closeness. Then, for the next 2 days, she becomes distant. Now most men would double text. They'd try to recreate the same energy. They'd send her a playlist, a joke, a check-in message. But the man who understands power, he does the opposite. He holds his posture. Instead, he keeps moving forward. He trains. He works. He builds. And most importantly, he says nothing. Because your silence isn't absence, it's signal. A woman respects a man who stays calm when emotions cool, because if you can hold your power when she withdraws, she starts to wonder if you're the kind of man she can't afford to lose. Here's a strategic action to apply immediately. The next time she gets distant, don't reach out. Don't question her energy. Don't try to repeat the magic. Let the connection breathe. Let her feel your absence, not as punishment, but as quiet proof that your value doesn't fade when she disappears. Because when a man becomes comfortable in emotional uncertainty, he becomes unforgettable. Let's move forward. The next situation is even trickier, because it feels like she's protecting your feelings when she's really testing your strength. Situation 2. She says, "I need space," out of nowhere. This one hits without warning and breaks most men. You thought everything was fine. Then suddenly, she drops the line, "I need space. I'm confused. I need to focus on myself right now." And you freeze. You start spiraling. You tell yourself, if I give her space, she'll forget me. If I stay close, maybe she'll change her mind. So you text, you call, you ask to talk. You try to understand her. But in reality, you just gave up your power. Because when a woman asks for space, she's not just speaking emotionally, she's observing something. Can you respect her distance without abandoning your direction? Or do you collapse the moment she pulls away? Machiavelli wrote, "The wise man avoids being dependent on fortune and seeks to control outcomes." In relationships, that means this. You don't wait for someone else's feelings to give you permission to move. You don't pause your growth for her process. You continue forward, with or without her clarity. Here's how this plays out in real life. You've been dating her for a few months. Things were going well, not perfect, but real. Then one day she says, "I don't know if I'm ready. I need some space to think." Most men panic. They say, "Please don't go. Tell me what I did. I'll give you time. Just don't forget how good we are together." But that's not strength. That's dependency dressed as love. The high-value man doesn't react like this. Instead, he says calmly, "I hear you. Take the space you need. I'll be where I'm going." Then he walks. No posts, no status updates, no Snapchats with a hidden message, no dramatic stories she can decode, just quiet direction. Because your silence does something her words never could. It reminds her that you don't wait in emotional limbo. You don't beg for connection. You respect her choice, but you never pause your path. Here's the precise move you can apply today. The next time a woman says she needs space, don't ask questions. Don't perform for attention. Don't fill the silence. Instead, acknowledge her words, confirm your direction, and disappear from her emotional radar. Because when she sees that your world doesn't collapse in her absence, she starts to question her own. She expected you to chase her, but you didn't. You stayed still. And that stillness? It creates gravity. Let's move to the next situation. Because the next pullback isn't verbal, it's energetic. And if you're not prepared, you'll mistake it for rejection, when it's really a test. Situation 3. She pulls away after you showed vulnerability. This one stings deeper than most. You finally drop the mask. You stop playing cool. You tell her what you feel, clearly, sincerely, maybe even boldly. You say, "I'm starting to really like you." Or worse, "I could actually see something real with us." And at first, she smiles. She holds your hand. But a day later, the energy shifts. She slows down, pulls back, becomes vague, distant, quiet. Most men take this as betrayal. They feel played. They start asking questions. Why is she cold now? Did I scare her? Was I too honest? And in panic, they try to fix it. They explain more, overtext, apologize for being too intense. They regret the very thing that made them real. But here's what's actually happening. You just opened the door. Now she's testing the frame. Because once you show emotional depth, she wants to know if it comes with emotional control. She wants to feel, can you be vulnerable without becoming fragile? Machiavelli warned us clearly. He who gives his love too freely is quickly taken for granted. And in modern relationships, here's the translation. Emotion isn't what builds attraction. It's what you do after revealing emotion that decides if it grows or dies. Let's take this into real life. You're seeing a woman. Things have been amazing. You feel the spark, the comfort, the connection. So you say something real. I'm not talking to anyone else. Or maybe, I haven't felt this in a long time. She looks touched, but then disappears for a few days. You feel sick, confused. You ask yourself, was I too much? Did I mess everything up? But the truth is simpler. She's watching what happens next. Will you spiral into neediness or return to your center? Here's the grounded move that keeps your power. Don't regret your words. Don't chase her for reaction. And definitely, don't try to balance it out with silence games or fake detachment. Instead, pull your energy back, quietly, not in bitterness, not in punishment, but in pure self-possession. Let your actions say, my honesty was real, but it doesn't make me dependent. Then refocus on your path. Go train. Go build. Go create. Let the silence between you be filled with your purpose, not your panic. Because when a woman sees that your strength remains intact after emotional exposure, she stops questioning your stability and starts respecting your depth. Let's move forward, because the next situation breaks even more men, not with words, but with comparison. Situation 4. She becomes distant after conflict. Maybe it started small, a disagreement, a sarcastic comment, a misunderstanding that escalated. You said something you didn't mean. Or maybe she did. Now she's gone quiet. Short replies. No eye contact. And an energy that feels more like punishment than distance. Most men panic in moments like this. They over-apologize, overcompensate. They send long texts, buy flowers, call 3 times in a row, all just to fix the silence. But here's what they don't realize. Every over-apology teaches her one thing, that your peace depends on her mood. And once she knows that, she controls the emotional tempo. But a high-value man moves differently. He doesn't perform for forgiveness. He leads the repair with calm, clarity, and strength. Machiavelli said, "He who bends too easily is never feared or followed." In modern love, that means this. If your peace breaks every time she pulls away, she'll never feel secure in your presence. Because no woman follows a man who needs her mood to stay stable. Let's ground this in a real scenario. You're in a relationship. You had an argument. Voices were raised. Now it's been 2 days, and she's giving you the cold shoulder. You want to text, "I'm sorry again." You want to say, "Please talk to me." But instead, you take a breath. You send one message. Simple. Firm. Grounded. "I respect your space. We'll talk when we're both clear." Then, silence. Not to play games, but to prove that you don't fix tension with desperation. And in that silence, she feels it. your emotional gravity, your ability to stand still when things get messy. And when she comes back, she doesn't just see you as a partner. She sees you as a man she can trust, even in conflict. Let's move on, because the final situation is the most dangerous of all. Not because of what she says, but because of what she stops saying. Situation 5. She slowly stops matching your energy. This one is quiet. She doesn't ghost you. She doesn't say it's over. She just fades. Slower replies. Less affection. Fewer plans. Less presence. Most men feel the shift and try to fix it. They double text, send reassurance, try to be more loving. But here's the hard truth. Every time you increase your effort while she lowers hers, you teach her that she doesn't have to try. Machiavelli warned, "He who compensates for others' neglect becomes easy to neglect himself." In modern dating, that means, if you fill the gap, she never has to. So here's how you move. No begging, no confrontation, no guilt. You simply mirror. If she pulls back, you pull back. If she stops initiating, you stop overextending. You don't punish. You don't explain. You reset the rhythm. Because when your energy becomes rare, it becomes respected. And when a woman truly values your presence, she'll notice the silence and start fighting for the connection again. Stay tuned. The final message ties it all together. If you've made it here, it means you're not like most men. You didn't flinch at discomfort. You didn't scroll away from the truth. You stayed. You listened. And now you see what others miss. Her distance is not your defeat. It's your invitation to rise, to lead, to return to your center without asking for permission. Because most men crumble the moment connection fades. They explain, they perform, they trade their presence for approval, and in doing so, they vanish in her eyes. But not you. Now you know you don't chase what pulls away. You don't beg for closeness. You don't need her attention to move like a man. You hold your rhythm. You protect your mission. You stay still when others shake. Machiavelli once wrote, "The man who stands firm when others bend becomes the one all others revolve around." So let her test you. Let her pull away. Let her create the silence. You become deeper in it. You become sharper inside it. Because your calm is not emptiness, it's command. From this moment on, let every pullback forge your gravity. Let every moment of doubt sharpen your discipline. Let every silence turn you into the man she can't move, because he already knows where he stands. And that's the truth. You don't earn respect by proving. You earn it by not breaking. One last message for those who truly want to change their life. For those who are ready to detach from the 99% and play a different game. What I'm working on will change the way women see you and the way you see yourself. It's coming soon, so stay tuned. If this spoke to you, don't just keep it in your head. Write a comment, even just a few words. It helps you remember, and it might help someone else too. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this content, and share this with someone who, in your eyes, needs it right now. Just trust your instinct. We're all trying to get clearer, more solid inside. So let's build minds that don't break.